Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shades of Spirit. If it ain't fun, we're done.
God.
I had to do it today. It's just so catchy. I had to do it. I am psychic medium Jamie.
And Spiritwalker Nicole.
We are with the Fierce Four. So we also have the fabulous LaShawn, the luminous mystic, and Ashley Tower, our resident. I'm calling you just the psychic artist who does it all.
That's fair.
Only because I love so much our paint and sip and how much fun that was, that I don't want people to think that she's just limited in as this psychic artist, because it's not. It is. The title does say a lot about what we do. And the more that I've been doing more research and looking at it, you are that psychic artist. You're using your clairs, you're tuning into what your groups need, even for your parties that you have and people there, you picked out perfect pictures, maybe minus all of the detail in the OB peer, but that was not your fault. That was the group you were working with's fault. But you listen to what people want, and then you tailor it to them. And the way that you put together the picture for our paint and sip was so cool to have the spirit animal. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, this is freaking awesome, because it gave people a taste that spirit isn't just our spirit guides and our angels and our loved ones and friends. Like, animals are part of it as well. And then to have everybody pick their animal stencil, and then have LaShawn go through as talk about it, and then pulling the spirit animal cards, and then you going through at the end and talking about colors. Just it limits us to just say psychic artist Ashley, because people just think of what they see on TV. So yeah. But you guys, we're going to do another paint and sip, and we take it on the road. Done. So you can book Ashley and I for a paint and sip with spirit. You provide the sip, Ashley provides the paint, and I bring spirit.
You provide the sip.
I prefer that they provide their own sip. I'm sorry if we're going, but you can host it in your own home. So that's what's really cool about that as well. So today, though, the Fierce Four is tackling Mercury Retrograde, right? Holy cannoli. This is a topic that you see pop up in your Facebook feed, folks, 3 times a year, right? 3 times a year. But the best part is it's like Christmas. It's like the holidays, guys. People ramp up for this. Like the Black Friday are kicking off, and here we go. And it's like, doomsday is coming. Mercury's about to go in retrograde. And I'd like to know how many of you actually know what that means. Because, we hear it, we read it. And I think the thing that got me today, this was not the topic I was choosing last night, and my team told me to wait, because I was so triggered by somebody's post with Mercury retrograde that I had to approach this topic. And I know these lovely ladies have their own views on it as well. But the fact that we have made it taboo, right? Yep. And I'm not okay with that, because that just means that you're owning this negative connotation of Mercury retrograde without understanding what it actually is and how it can actually help you by utilizing the energy in a positive direction. Okay. So we're going to help you step back into your power, learn how to harness this energy and the shift for good. You got your notes out?
I do.
You want to tell everybody what the dates are?
Yes.
And then I want you guys to think about, while Spiritwalker Nicole is going over the dates this year, 2021, when we have Mercury in retrograde, and see if you had anything happen during these times.
Okay. So the dates for 2021 Mercury retrograde is January 30th to February roughly 20th through the 22nd. And then May 29th to June 22nd through the 20th. And then September 27th to October 17th to 21st-ish.
So the thing about that is you've got about 20 to 25 days where you're kind of feeling the effects ahead of time, kind of like a moon, right? These are planets. Plus another 20, that's 50. Plus, so you're looking at like 70 to 75 days of your year that you are focusing on Mercury retrograde. So for Ashley, you were nodding your head. Did you have something big happen in one of those time frames? I guess we're in the middle of the second one.
No, I mean, I have my own personal views as far as what to take from retrograde. And I mean, you said it perfectly. It was, changing that stigma of it being negative into a positive. I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, when the planets get closer to the Earth, or the moon, the full moon, or even like a solar flare, or you have that celestial storm, anything will affect you physically, because I mean, there's that quote, we're all stardust, baby. We're all made out of the same thing, right? So any type of energy, whether it be celestial or human, spirit, whatever, is going to affect you physically. Now it's so important what you do with that energy, and keeping that mindset of positivity. You harness this energy, harness it for positivity, harness it to set goals, make them come to fruition. And that's really, trying to get that, like, that taboo, like, oh my gosh, my life's going to be crap for the next, month or so, right? We don't
Exactly.
want to feel that way. We want you guys to be empowered and uplifted by this energy. Just because a planet's getting a little closer, a little further away, or whatever happens, when all of that surge of energy, comes, and you feel like you feel it. Everybody feels it, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. It's just harnessing it and turning it into something that's proactive for yourself.
I'd like to go to LaShawn and ask her how Mercury retrograde might have affected her the past couple days.
Oh, I can't wait for this. LaShawn, the floor is yours.
Don't wear shoes.
Don't wear shoes.
No shoes, no service.
Y'all get on my nerves, I swear. Well, okay, so let's just put this out there. I don't know much about the retrogrades. I just don't. I have seen a lot on Facebook.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was LaShawn's sock, which she refuses to get rid of. I've offered to buy her a new pair, and she's wearing it on her hand because she's trying to sew it before the show. That was fantastic. You should have seen this.
Hey, I'm so sorry. Okay, so I don't know a lot about it. I just don't. But I see a lot of posts on Facebook about how chaotic people's lives are, or they'll say that, oh, this thing is happening to me, and somebody said, oh, it's the Mercury retrograde and stuff, and I'm just like, okay, like I don't, like, what does that mean?
Okay, I'm going to tell you what that means. So you're not noticing anything out of the unusual, if you will.
I don't feel that it's anything that's out of the unusual. Now, if we talk about what I did read when I was reading up on it, was they were saying that like your electronics gets messed up. I know that there are certain things they say that for certain like your birthday, depending on where your birthday falls, there's certain things that have happened to you because of that particular horoscope for that day. It's just insane to me. Now, I lose my glasses all the time because they talk about losing things. And yeah, Ashley, I kind of blame you for last night, just FYI, from the card that you pulled. However, that is something that I do all the time. I am constantly misplacing things all the time. Now, there's no way that I would put that on the Mercury retrograde. I just don't.
I like that. I like where you're at with that. So let me explain the cosmic evolution of this, right? So with Mercury in retrograde, this is the explanation. You can look it up on the Google, folks, and it's different on each one, but they all come back to the Google. But it all comes back to this. It is a astronomical explanation for retrograde motion, starting with the understanding that our planets in the solar system, right? We all know this, orbit the sun at different distances and speeds. Okay. We all have learned that from elementary school on. How many of you had to build the models where you had to actually put the planets on the sticks? Yep. Okay. So we know that that is something that happens. They orbit at different speeds. They are at different distances. That's why we have equinoxes. We have different transitions. Astrology does use the different signs and their houses and the planetary alignments per person based on the time that they were, born as well. So all of that can come into play. Some people use this to manifest, and some people feel that it is, detrimental in certain ways for them. But while we orbit the sun ourselves, we can observe those other planets moving across our sky. So for stargazers, you're going to notice when Mars is close to the Earth or Venus, when you can start to see those stars, they shift even throughout the night. You might notice the night sky as you're stargazing. All of a sudden, your stars that were over here are now over here, right? That's because we are constantly in motion. We're following our own path. Sometimes it can also appear from our perspective that a planet has abruptly switched directions, right? And has started to move in reverse across the sky. This is where we start getting into that retrograde part. This is, of course, an illusion, you guys. Planets don't go backwards. We are ever evolving and moving forward. Okay, so that's where that Mercury retrograde starts to, is because Mercury looks like it's starting to move backwards and we are moving forwards. This is why it is called the phenomenon, an apparent retrograde motion, as it only looks like the planets are moving backwards. It turns out Mercury in retrograde is actually a scientific term that refers to the planet's motion. In popular culture, here we are, you guys, we use that phrase, it becomes synonymous with bad luck. Bun, dun, dun, right? Breakups, screw ups, any other kind of negative things that happen in our lives can be blamed on Mercury in retrograde. This is my question to you guys when we come back from break. If that was the case, then why do these things happen year round? Like LaShawn pointed out, I lose my glasses all the time.
They're generally on top of her head. Generally. Like 9 times out of 10. So we just need you to just check there first.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the bottom line.
I feel better.
Are you okay?
I'm good.
And her sock is usually on her left hand.
Yeah. Look on your hands and your head.
I love it.
It's fine.
But this is where it's at. So the planets are moving, right? You know how much I am in the moon cycles, full moons, new moons, quarter moons, feeling the energy, keeping moon journals. Well, there's nothing different with the planets moving around either and taking advantage of that energy. So when we come back from break, we are going to talk about we're going to go more into how we feel about Mercury in retrograde. We haven't heard from Spiritwalker Nicole yet.
I have thoughts.
You're going to tell us your thoughts like you always do in segment 2. We'll just leave segment 2 as Spiritwalker Nicole's thoughts on retrograde, right? You guys, I am doing $75 again for June. That is a 1-hour reading. Also, June 17th is Dinner with Spirit. Chef G is going to be creating a 3-course meal. You can get tickets on Shades of Spirits page LLC. That's on Facebook for that as well. I think we're up to like 10 or 11 right now. So I'm super excited about how this is going. That's awesome. About half full because this is a backyard party. It's kind of like a speakeasy, if you will. You don't get the address until you pay because that's how we're rolling. You guys stay tuned with us. We'll be right back with the Fierce 4 and Mercury retrograde right after this break. Welcome back to Shades of Spirit. I'm Psychic Medium Jamie.
And Spiritwalker Nicole.
We are here with the Fierce 4. So we have LaShawn the Luminous Mystic and psychic artist Ashley Tower. Yay! Okay. This is a big topic. It really is. And we also know, because we're psychic, that Jacob's favorite color is green.
True.
I love it.
True.
I love it. If you're wearing a green shirt right now, that would just tie it up for me.
It's blue. Sorry.
No?
Not going to say anything.
Dead air. This
sorry.
is bad radio. Hi,
wearing,
Jacob. Thanks for
I'm
producing our show.
Blue, but they did in fact guess green. I was pretty surprised.
Pretty good. See, but Mercury in retrograde is not about being psychic. It is about feeling the effects of the sun, the planetary alignments, the moon. At the end of the day, Ashley is right. We are affected every day by those subtle shifts, and throughout the day, the subtle shifts of our planetary alignment. It's because we are made of matter, right? And the majority of our matter is water. And so if our oceans and tides can be pulled by the planetary alignments, then so can we energetically. Now, are there times where it is stronger? Absolutely, right? And does it bring emotion up? Absolutely. But it also is not necessarily, from my perspective, the cause of my electronic malfunctions, because I don't have them in Mercury in retrograde. And I'm actually looking at making a huge commitment with my company here, right? I mean, we're looking around at things, which would involve signing legal documents in the middle of Mercury retrograde. It's not going to scare me off and be like, oh my God, Spiritwalker Nicole, we cannot do anything with Shades of Spirit till August 14th. Oh my, okay. We might miss opportunities, you guys. But if we can shift that thinking, into more of a positive, let me work with the planets as opposed to being against them, then things are going to manifest for us quickly. So since it's segment 2 and we're calling it Spiritwalker Nicole's Thoughts,
Yeah.
Spiritwalker Nicole's Corner is going to tell us her thoughts while I work on this for LaShawn the Luminous Mystic.
I'm very much like with LaShawn on this one. It's like, for me, you know how I know when Mercury's in retrograde? Because psychic medium Jamie tells me it is. And then I see a few social media posts here and there. I try not to spend too much time on that, but that's the only way I know. I don't live my life. Like, I mean, some people get so into it, and you know what, if that's your thing, awesome. That's exhausting to me. And LaShawn said it so well. It's just like, I mean, I think that she is a lot like me in that we're just ready. Every day we're ready for what's ever going to happen. It's either going to be good or maybe it's not so good. But if it's not so good, there's a lesson there. So we need to learn that. And then you move on and you just keep going, and you're getting through it. You're surviving, and hopefully you're helping other people that need your help. And you're not looking at that calendar and like putting your life on hold, and if your iPad goes dead in Mercury Retrograde, maybe it's time to get a new iPad, like whatever. Let's not like center our entire existence over, some dates on the calendar. But, I don't know. A lot of people feel differently than I do, and that's okay. I choose to not, think the worst and kind of believe that energy is just everything's going to go against me and everybody. And I'm, I don't know. That's just how I work. LaShawn, is that pretty much like you too?
Yeah, that's exactly what it boils down to. One of the things that I read was that was about cleaning out your closet. And I'm like, well, damn. I mean, dang, I did it on the what was it? The retrograde started on the 29th. I cleaned my closet on the 30th, but it wasn't because of the retrograde. It was because this is what I do every quarter anyway. So it was just that time. Like, I just don't understand it.
I feel the exact same way as you two. Exact same way. It's all, I mean, this energy, I take it as an opportunity. It's an opportunity.
And if you want to like blame something and use that as an excuse, then okay, that's cool. But like, I think the real telltale thing is, what do you do with it? Like, yeah, shit goes wrong. Cool. Now what? Let's keep rolling here. Let's not put our life on hold for those however time frame days, and then start. Like every day is a day to start and do things and get out there and live your life. So who cares if it's in retrograde? It's in retrograde. But the sun still comes up in the morning.
Right. And we have a sun solar eclipse.
Oh yeah,
on June 10th, in the middle of Mercury retrograde. Dun, dun, dun. And guess what? We had a lunar eclipse on the 26th. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, if you guys are feeling energy out of whack, yes, because our planetary alignments are shifting, right? And it does matter where you're born, what sign you're under, how you're being affected. Certain ones are going to be more intense for you energetically than others, but turn that around. That's the biggest part today, is turn that around. All those sayings that people have on there of all the things that you should do, that you shouldn't do, you know what, if I followed that on every single solitary day, I would go crazy. Because at the end of the day, what I'm doing is I'm following someone else's words, someone else's ideas, right? And that's not what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to connect for myself. And so if you get up in the morning, now for me, Mercury in retrograde is huge because I have more ideas that come in. And I'm using the energy of the planets and the way that we're moving in that space. A solar eclipse is a really good opportunity for that as well, not just the lunar eclipses, right? So if you're feeling kind of antsy by the 10th, that also means that you're also feeling that energy magnified. The sun has been huge for me. It's that cleansing part of it. It's that warmth part of it. It's that nurturing part of it that I'm needing in my life at the moment. And everything else seems like it's going crazy around me, which it is. Okay, I'm not going to lie. It's been one hell of a week with my own personal stuff. But that's life, right? So did all of this happen because Mercury in retrograde was coming into effect and now it was going to dump, all this crap in my lap? No, it's just life, right? My outside external life got dumped into my lap. And so now it was like cleaning that up and moving it. And it's funny because, LaShawn's cleaned her closet and Ashley's feeling, that same kind of energy around there. And we cleaned out the entire garage this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I cleaned my house. So, I mean, there's that.
It was an emotional weekend. But no, we had shifting. We have movement within the family, right? So we had to go in and actually clean that out. Was it because the planets told me so? No, it's because it needed to be done. It just happened to fall in this time period. So I'm no longer going to give that power over to that particular time and space. The other part that gets me sometimes, you guys, is like those people that I know, a lot of them mean well. Okay. And they are people that I know. So you mean well. But when you post this stuff, if you don't know what you're talking about, now you have other people living in fear of what they don't understand. And so that's the part for me that I wanted to make sure that we came on today and talked to this topic, because I was reading people's comments on some posts and I was like, slow down. No. Please don't live in fear. Please. You know, that's the one thing I don't want to have happen, right? They're almost more fearful of what can happen in retrograde than, you know, the dark monster in the closet. And I'm like, that cannot happen, because they're misinformed. They don't have all the information and they don't know what the power is within them in order to move forward. And so that's when we're going to talk about in the next topic is like, what do they say we should stay clear of? And we're going to talk on those points. And then I want you guys to think about times that you have signed papers, that you've done this, that you've done that, to where you've empowered yourself in that space, right? And then we're going to also talk about how to take our power back during that time and how to, you know, safely be able to work through the energy cycles of anything in order to come out on top. With that being said, LaShawn, let our audience know how they can get a hold of you.
Hi. Okay, so you can reach me at Luminous Path with Love on Facebook. Actually, I'm going to be starting a special this week. Actually, I was going to talk about it on Friday for $50 for 45 minutes for the mystical summer. Okay, with the mystical reading. So that's a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
It's a something reading.
Summer.
Yes. And you could get a bracelet for an additional whatever she does that goes with the something reading.
And
I love it.
And you can also find me on Luminous Path with Love on Etsy.
Love it. Now, can they order a reading on Etsy? Are you going to have that posted that way, or they contact you on your Facebook page?
Actually, I think there is a spot for that. If not, then let me know and I'll tell my sister.
Robin, we need you to get on that stat.
And after Mercury retrograde, she'll look into it.
Exactly. When the button works.
Yeah.
Perfect. And Ashley, what about you and these fabulous parties that you've got going on? It's summertime. She's going to be booking out. Yeah.
I already am. So you guys can find me on Facebook, Ashley Tower, and the Art by Ashley T Facebook page, or Art by Ashley T on Instagram. You guys can email me to bookparties at artbyashleyti@gmail.com. So,
Love it. And then you guys have got to jump on YouTube, like and subscribe to Shades of Spirit on YouTube, because next weekend, folks, we are going to be staying at an allegedly haunted hotel in downtown San Diego. We're bringing all the equipment out. And LaShawn and I were able to actually use that equipment at a house clearing, if you will. It was more of an informational session on what was going on with the homeowners, and we brought the equipment out and actually caught a lot of stuff on that. So once we actually go through that with our clients, we're gonna talk more about it. If you guys have activity in your homes, also reach out. So you can message us at shadesofspirit.com on our website, or you can message us on Shades of Spirit LLC if you want more information. We bring all the equipment out and we work to see what's going on in your home. But it's going to be a haunted party next weekend. I cannot wait. And we're going to be doing a lot of lives on YouTube. So go over there, follow us. That's a threat. No, it's not, but we encourage it. And we will see you guys right after this break. Welcome back, everybody. I am Psychic Medium Jamie.
Spiritwalker Nicole.
Got myself off guard. I was talking to a spirit in the bedroom all of a sudden, and I was like, I'm the one that speaks first. So here we go.
Hi, welcome back.
Wow. Welcome back. We have LaShawn the Luminous Mystic and the fabulous psychic artist, Ashley Tower. BTW, I really liked the painting yesterday.
Yeah.
wasn't that neat?
Yeah, I liked my card as well. Like, it couldn't have been any more spot on. So
Right?
you
I
got to
got
go to
goosebumps.
YouTube because she's pulling cards in between while her paint dries. She pulled one for Spiritwalker Nicole, for myself, and for LaShawn, which all of us were totally in alignment with. I love that mermaid deck. Awesome. I got a new deck, you guys, yesterday. Holy cannoli. It's in the car. I left it in the car. I'm upset with that. It is fantastic. But you guys, today we're talking about Mercury in retrograde. Now, on this break, all of a sudden I got super dizzy, and LaShawn was like, so am I. And then I got super hot. And I know that I have a male energy in here. And I'm going to tune in while we're all kind of talking on this topic, because I believe that he belongs to someone that might be watching. So I'm just going to throw out there what I'm feeling and seeing with him, so that I can stop feeling this way. But we're talking about staying empowered in Mercury in retrograde, or any type of solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, power outages, moon cycles. I don't care what it is, whatever is going on, and that planetary alignment, you have complete power and control over. They do not control us. Why? Because we're spiritual beings. Yes, it may affect our human body because we are made of matter. We are primarily water. We are affected in the push and pull of those planets, just like the tides, just like lakes, just like animals. But because we are the spiritual being having this experience, we need to learn how to tap into our higher self and be able to connect on that level in order to help people. So we're going to give you those tips at the fourth quarter. Like I'm in a game all of a sudden. I've been going to my daughter's water polo games, you guys. So I'm in quarter mode now, not segment 4. But what they say we need to stay clear of. So I want you guys to just chime in if you're watching. If not, then you can let us know later on when you listen to us on our podcast. How many of you have been through this or have actually had things that have happened during this Mercury retrograde time, or that you've actually stayed clear of because you were afraid something was going to happen? So that's the thing. 60 to 75 days a year, I'm supposed to be on high alert, right? For planets that are moving backwards because of how we're perceiving the planet shifting, when in reality they are going forward. And if the momentum of the planets can't move backwards, then we're always moving forward, right?
Yeah, whatever that you just said.
Yeah. So that's the thing. And again, this is my perception. So this is why it doesn't affect me, because I look at it at a different level. Now, Mercury in retrogrades are said to be rulers of communication, because Mercury is the planet of communication. So listening, writing, reading, speaking, and so on, as well as activities that are closely related to communication, even negotiations, contracts, verbal agreements between people, are said to, watch out, don't do it. I'm kind of wondering, anybody in this group, right now that we're, today's June 5th? 2nd? I don't know. Thank you. Just so far ahead of the game. So we've been in this about a week, right, of this particular cycle of Mercury in retrograde. Anybody in this circle have any issues with communication?
No, I don't think I have.
Ashley,
I mean,
no?
you did lose your phone. You lost your way to communicate, no?
Oh, well, yeah, but I mean, whatever. That would have happened anyway. It says Ashley put it out in the universe with that doggone card. I mean, it was just bound.
That was just letting you know that it was going to happen and you should have been on the lookout.
But because of that, you ended up in some barefoot adventure to, where did she end up?
Costco Tire
to
Center.
Costco Tire Center in socks, because, well, that's normal.
Ma'am, I did not go into the tire center. I was at the front of the store with everybody else. Just the tire center called. So yes, and I went and got gas barefooted, just socks only.
I love it. But you know what, you guys, what's cool is, we're making fun of her. She makes fun of herself. We do it in love and light. I love the fact that these things, a lot of people would have gotten on their and done a video. Okay, everybody. Well, today Mercury in retrograde happened. And guess what? My phone got lost. Well, that's the electronic part of it and the communication part of it. And then it took me no, you just roll with it. And it's just like, cool, got my phone back, moving on, got more things to do, right? You take it in stride, but by not allowing it to affect your energy, we're not having that issue. My communication is stronger during this particular time because I'm working with the energy. I'm understanding what's happening. I also know that it can close off communication for some that believe that it is. And so I do work to make sure that I am freely moving that. And I'm listening to my chakras as well. So if I feel like my throat's closing up, I know that my body is telling me, hey, don't let that happen right now, right? Stay in control of your own energy. What about rules of travel, automobiles, shipping, mail? Anybody having any issues with mail, or if you've planned a vacation? I think that we were in Kauai last year at the retrograde.
Mhm.
We had no issues traveling.
No. Did you say shipping? So like allegedly, no, if this affects Amazon, I'm up in arms. There will be protests.
Word.
There will be
Yeah.
groups formed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just, I need that.
Yeah.
I need Amazon to know that.
Well, it's travel. It's that mode of transportation. So yes, it can hinder, right? So I'm wondering, anybody out there who's taken a vacation during these particular times, where you have made a mental note, like, dude, that was the most messed up trip I've ever taken because Mercury in retrograde. I'm just, I think that some of us do have it. I think that it is more of that coincidence as opposed to the fact that the planets are misaligned for that purpose, right? They do say, I'm going to say this, I feel that this should be every day, not just in retrograde. When Mercury is in retrograde, try to remain flexible, patient, and understanding. Allow extra time for travel and avoid signing any contracts that you are unsure of. Okay, that's just logic to me.
It's just good sense.
I'm sorry. I mean, and honestly, I have heard this for years and years and years. I went back today and just went back on the Google and searched on all sorts of platforms, and they still say the exact same thing. Maybe they're worded a bit different, but this is just good common sense. Be flexible, be patient. Know that, yes, you might be feeling a little bit on edge, and maybe we do need to take a step back, take a breath. Why? Because of the planetary alignments and the shifts within that energy. Okay, but just be aware of that and make that shift, right? Don't just dissolve down into a puddle unless you really need to release energy and just be like, oh my gosh, this all went to hell because my planets aren't in alignment. That's not taking responsibility for you, right? Double check your email responses. This is also a good practice. I have done this before. I'm sure no one else has, right? And to send that email and you're like, ooh, nope, shouldn't have done that one.
Shouldn't have been all in caps. That's weird.
Yeah, shouldn't be doing that. For people that you work with though, so for you, Spiritwalker Nicole, when you're with people, do you notice a difference in their energy right now based on where it was 2 weeks ago?
No, everybody's crazy all the time. And I mean that in the nicest possible way, but I mean, and I think our listeners can get that. Like sometimes I don't care if you are in line in the coffee shop, like you will see some stuff retrograde or not retrograde. And you're just like, have these people lost their damn minds? And it's just, people are going to be people. And I mean, the biggest thing I've seen is coming out of the pandemic, life is getting back to normal. And, we're all kind of getting smashed back together again. So I don't know, out on the road, tempers are a little high. Driving on the freeway, when I'm out there, I notice that there's a lot of congestion and just those old stuff where like the road rage and the things like the less, like you're not as courteous as a driver because somebody cut you off, whatever it is, like that's all coming back. So we're getting the good stuff with we all love each other. And we're also getting the bad stuff with that son of a bitch cut me off. I'm going to honk or cut him off or whatever it is. It's all coming back.
And that's the part too, is, I love this part. Review projects and plans at this time, but wait until Mercury is direct again to make final decisions. Direct where? It's not going backwards. We're still moving forward, right? You can't stop your life, you guys, based on what we've read. And this honestly came from the fact that the word retrograde meant to regress, right? We're going back this way. Well, no, that's not what's happening. If you believe it, it's going to happen, right? I love this. Plan ahead. We should all be doing that anyway, right? Right? Backup plans. Be prepared. I like this because, Spiritwalker Nicole hit that on the head. Shorter fuses and miscommunication. So LaShawn, are you noticing any of that within family? Because you guys are really close and you talk a lot on the family standpoint, like this week compared to maybe a couple weeks ago?
Nah, they all crazy as I don't know what. Still the same. Nothing has changed. No. It's just, I cannot wrap my head around this. I just really can't. But can I bring up something real quick?
Yeah, we got 3 minutes before a break. Go.
Okay, so for me, I'm an Aquarius. So what they talked about is an old fling coming back and me making that run to him. Are you serious? Like in my daily life, I never go back. Period. I about lost my crap when I saw that. Like,
Then she started sewing socks. But you're right. I mean, that's the thing, though. If you started to really believe that, right? What about in your household? Because, you know, Ashley, you've got a teenager, a preteen, female energy, male energy, the husband, the dogs. Are you guys?
I mean, I didn't have any, I had no clue until somebody posted on Facebook 2 days ago that Mercury was in retrograde. But, I mean, Monday I did get home and I was irritable just because we had just, you know, I just driven for an hour and Lulu had peed all over the kitchen floor, like right in front of me. So I was like, dang it! Ah! But then I was just like, well, you know, that's my husband's fault because he was home and didn't let her out, you know? So it's just like acknowledging those little like, okay.
Is Lulu your cat or your daughter?
Lulu's my dog, one of my dogs.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, she peed like right in front of me. I'm like, girl. Anyway, so, but it's just like recognizing like, I didn't need to do that. The poor thing was just probably bursting at the seams. It's just recognizing like, oh, that was really out of character for me. And
I like that. That's a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
Like LaShawn's not going backwards. You're recognizing, okay, so I am being affected. I've just checked myself. Like, all right. So again, you guys, we can feel it. We are in this human body, but then Ashley stepped out of that space for a moment, kind of reconnected with her higher self, like we're going to talk about coming up here in a minute, and really being able to just breathe it out, move past it, and not hold it in. And that's what I don't want you guys to do, is to hold that energy in. So when we get back from break, each one of us is just going to give you guys a little tip on how we really work through it when we're feeling energy, whether it's a retrograde, a full moon, a new moon, a lunar eclipse, a solar eclipse, or again, if the power went out. You know, sometimes that really does frustrate me when I can't find the candles and the lighters, because Lordy knows I can't find a flashlight. You guys stay tuned after this break. We will be right back with more Shades of Spirit with the Fierce Four. Welcome back, everybody, to Shades of Spirit with the Fierce Four. I'm psychic medium Jamie.
And Spiritwalker Nicole.
I don't think LaShawn liked Jacob's choice of music because her dance turned into an eye roll with some of this. So LaShawn the Luminous Mystic would like something peppier next time. Just kidding. And we have Ashley, our resident psychic artist, with us. And we are talking about Mercury in retrograde and being able to take the power back and being able to stand in that space of like, I'm not going to just allow something that came up a long time ago affect me in a negative way, right? It's taking back that power and saying, I'm going to utilize this energy. It might take us some time to figure out how to navigate that. And that's okay. We need to be able to learn about it, understand it. So I urge you guys to do more research on it, talk to other people, right? And there are those people that I know, the people that are really being affected by it, and they're putting those posts up and stuff. And they've got a friend who's like, I felt a thing. And they're probably going, oh, how could you not have? You know why? Because they're not allowing it to affect them.
right.
It's just like anybody on that spiritual level, right? We are all psychic, but those of us that choose not to tune into those gifts walk around in life not tuned in. That's okay. That's their life path, right? But at the same time, when you were buying into these things, it's like a commercial. Could you imagine if they were trying, not Mercury car insurance anymore, it's Mercury in retrograde, and they're trying to sell that to you, are you going to buy it? Boy, I hope not, right? But if I can stand there and give you, you know, the commercial of stand in your empowerment and take this pencil and this will combat Mercury retrograde, you might be like, yeah, I'll take that pencil and let's go, right? Because you want that power, but you have it within you. So for Spiritwalker Nicole, what do you do if you're feeling like there is an energy shift? Because there is with these planets and these alignments and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How are you catching yourself, or do you just do you not acknowledge it and just go on with your day?
Like an energy shift that I don't like?
Yeah, like if in being in this particular time frame, right?
Yeah. So I become aware of it and I just keep shifting until it is something I like, because that's what I and everyone listening has the power to do. Like we have this amazing capacity to change the energy around us, to raise our vibration. And so if you find yourself in that crappy place where you hate everybody and you look over and you're looking at the husband and you hate the way he eats crackers suddenly, like that's a clue that, okay, you know, you're we need to switch some stuff up, and there's probably some underlying things going on. So that's when you shift, you go to the beach, you go stick your feet in some sand or on the grass or a tree, whatever it is, play some music that you like, take a bubble bath. So do things for yourself, because you have the power to change your mood and to change your mind. And so my tip is be aware of your mindset and then keep working on it until you get that energy to a place that, it doesn't have to be rainbows and unicorns, but until you get to a place where it's like, all right, this is okay, I'm good. And then the next day, make it better. But yeah, just like you said, what's it going to do? Falling into a puddle of tears and, crying about Mercury retrograde. It's like, dude, pick yourself up and let's go. Like, be ready for anything.
LaShawn, the luminous mystic. What about you? Since you're like, Mercury, what? Right? As you're doing more research and stuff. And I know you see people's posts that post the stuff or videos that they're doing. Like, what do you do for you?
For me, it's what I do every day. And I just give gratitude for everything and anything out to the universe. And if something is going on that I am not quite fond of at the time or having a bad attitude about, then I just, change it. I am just a person who believes in self-help. I am that person who writes my personal and my positive affirmations on my mirror, and I change them, it was every month, but now I got to the point where I do it whenever I feel like I need to do it. Anything that's going to make me feel okay, because listen, people, I choose to be happy. That is a choice that I make, and anything that I'm not happy with, then you bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to do everything that I can in my power to change that. And really, at the end of the day, we have to really think about changing our mindset on things, because when you change your mindset for the better, then everything around you kind of falls into place. That's just honestly how I feel. And what's ironic is, as I was writing down, how to take your power back at this time, I just wrote, keep on keeping on. What we put out there is what we get back. But then I decided to pull a card, okay? And this is what this card said. It says, coming my way, unique opportunities aligned with my desires present themselves to me. I attract all that I need to make my dreams a reality. And I didn't believe that even came up based off of what I had wrote on my piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what it's about. Change your mindset. Think more positive, be more positive, surround yourself around people who you want to be like, or to where you have shared, interests, and go for it. All this other stuff, just set that to the side and actually just throw it in a garbage can, okay, and let it go to the landfill.
Let it release. I love your card, matches exactly where you're going with that. That's fantastic. Ashley, what about you? You obviously step back and you take a breath.
I do. Because I'm a pretty, chill. I have a pretty chill personality. Stuff grinds my gears or revs my engine or whatever you want to call it. But it is acknowledging that, removing myself out of that mindset and be like, all right, it's, one of those, did you just go through life where, if you constantly think like, oh, my luck is crap, or, oh, it's just like that. Those things that happen, acknowledging the good, oh, I'm unlucky in this, but man, am I lucky in, my relationships, or, just, honing in on those things to focus your positivity on, rather than focusing on, negative aspects of your life. And, recognizing that everything happens for a reason, not getting so frustrated, especially during full moons, for example. I'm so clumsy, but a lot of the times I don't pay attention to full moon. Now I do, but I didn't before. So it's just,
I like that. It's about paying attention.
Paying attention. 100%.
As we're getting ready to wind down the show here, folks. I liked LaShawn's, my idea for myself, and I do this often, is I'll pull a card for myself one of my positive affirmation cards, or something that keeps me in that vibration of positivity, that keeps me focused, that gives me that reminder, because sometimes I need that because I get so in my own head that I forget to make space to step back. And then I'm in the middle of that feeling, and then it's harder to get ourselves out. So setting ourselves up for that. Now, we have to acknowledge him because both LaShawn and I got dizzy and a huge hot flash, feeling this energy coming around. And then at the last break, Ashley and Spiritwalker Nicole are talking about heartburn. There is a male. Now, we're not going to be able to do a reading or anything because we only have 2 minutes left. But if this resonates with you, you can message us on Shades of Spirit LLC's Facebook page. He has white hair. He has blue eyes. He is Caucasian. He dresses like Mr. Rogers. So he's got on tan pants, some nice shoes, but not like fancy shoes, slip-on type of shoes. It's a powder blue sweater with just a nice shirt underneath. He looks like he passed in his 70s. His hair is white though. And he goes by Stanley or Stan. The name, I cannot get the name out of my head. And there's something going on in the abdominal cavity, so maybe cancer that kind of took over that area, which caused the heartburn and the discomfort that I'm still feeling in my lower back. I think it maybe went to kidneys as well, and I think the kidneys probably shut down for his passing. But he's been hanging out with us for this entire show, and he gives me the chills and that acknowledgement of just thank you for putting that out there. It could be somebody from a podcast who's going to be listening to it 2 weeks from now. If this resonates, white hair, light blue eyes, older gentleman in his 70s, dressed like Mr. Rogers, a very sweet gentleman by the name of Stanley, would go by Stan. Please let us know. You guys, thank you so much for joining us, LaShawn and Ashley. It's always a good time. You guys stay tuned because there will be footage from our haunted extravaganza next weekend. And yeah, there's going to be more of us. You cannot get rid of us. So thank you guys for tuning in to Shades of Spirit. Spiritwalker Nicole, say good night.
Good night.
Good night, you guys. Thank you so much. You've been listening to Shades of Spirit with me, Jamie.
And me, Spiritwalker Nicole.
Tune in next time on TransformationTalkRadio.com as we connect you with your crossed over loved ones, angels, and guides.
And for more information and to book your own private experience, go to shadesofspirit.com. That's shadesofspirit.com.